Now to that disturbing testimony heard today in the murder trial of a former Titan scout. Blaise Taylor is accused of fatally poisoning his girlfriend Jade Benning while she was 5 months pregnant. Sergeant James Smith with Metro Police testified today. He interviewed Blaise Taylor the night before Benning was taken to the hospital. The sergeant says he helped with orders to draw blood from Benning and helped get a search warrant. The defense argued that some evidence wasn't collected, and a blood sample taken from Benning was turned in 2 days after she was hospitalized. Benning's friend, Najea Jackson, also took the stand. She stopped by Jennings' apartment during a date. She says about an hour after she left, she got a call from Jade Benning, not sounding like herself, saying this.
She immediately starts saying, "What did you do? What did you put in my drink?" Then I heard her say, "Blaise, you're scaring me." And he was like, "You're scaring me."
Benning died on her 25th birthday. Taylor was arrested a year later. He faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of felony murder.